ADHD, attention deficit disorder, an increasingly common diagnosis for people who are involuntarily playing life on interesting mode. Taxes, one of two things that were promised in this life. That and the fact that YouTubers will beg for engagement before getting to the point of their video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. And I'm starting a Patreon. More on that in a second. Where was I? Oh, that's right. The definition of ADHD. Webster's dictionary defines ADHD as... Gang, that's a photo of me. What, you guys? That's right, gang, your girl's the definition of ADHD. And there's a post going around right now asking for the most unhinged ADHD tips. And so I figured we could try them and tier rank them and see what we got going on. And if nothing else, I could give you guys some of my personal unhinged ADHD tips. They're juicy. The timing couldn't be more perfect because, I mean, it's tax week. And you better believe I procrastinated on that ish. So, ADHD tips are bust. Or extension, I guess. Probably extension, TBH. Let's get into it. First, we're gonna be doing pretending that my ex can hack into my eyes and see how I'm doing. No, you left the cabinets open. I didn't leave the cabinets open. Well, if you would just send me my stuff back, then I wouldn't have to reach out to you. Paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. We're fine. F tier. No, I don't like that one. Next, I'm gonna be rating this based off of does it work? Do I like it? How effective was it? How easy is it to implement? Up next, wet socks. You sickos. I'm not sure how wet I'm supposed to make them, but I fear I have done it for too much. I'm gonna be tracking puddles everywhere. D tier. This was a sensory nightmare, and I don't feel like I could sustainably get things done. Maybe I could do it for shorter, but not for this.
Up next,
big light punishment.
until my tasks are finished.
No, not a fan. That one just makes me overstimulated and cranky. D tier. Alrighty, tax time. This is where I'm gonna be doing my taxes. You know, how you just set up a ring light and get real cute in order to pay the government. Let's go.
Next,
Putting on a monster mask and pretending that you are a gorilla doing a corporate job. Well, someone had to. Here we go. Amazing. I just got a glimpse of my reflection in my laptop. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Tax time. It's already in my mouth. So to understand why you've been affected by your generational curse, ADHD, let's first talk about the way that the brain works. Disclaimer on all of this, I am not a doctor. I do have a brain doctor for a mom, and I did take 1 semester of neuroscience in college. And so I'm scientifically employing the method of which lectures felt like a personal attack. Let's talk a little bit about the brain. I'm done with this. This one's not working. No. Stab me in the eyeballs and mouth. C tier. Better than the socks, though. Hi, Dr. Bond. I have a question.
Okay.
Is the brain kind of like an electrified bag of meat?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the brain is kind of like an electrified bag of meat. And the meat bag really only likes 2 things, serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin is the chemical that you release when you're happy from things like eating well and exercise, meditation, lifestyle, happiness chemical. Dopamine is the short-term happiness chemical. Things like chocolate, sex, drugs, pretty colors, your phone, shopping, tearing off pieces of perforated paper. Basically, anything that you can get addicted to, that's dopamine. I can stop anytime that I want. ADHD is specifically a dopamine regulation disorder. That's why people with ADHD are prone to addiction. I gotta get another fix. Got some paychecks that need the edges pulled off of them. What about one of those return to senders type beats? Makes sense? Your brain is trying to mimic the spike of the dopamine of that initial addiction. Oh yeah, that's the business. Got a brochure. And people with ADHD need a lot more facets of that dopamine. Need a lot more sources of dopamine. I feel it in my fingies. It's so nice. But how? So remember how I said that the brain is like an electrified bag of meat? Well, the frequency of those electronic pulses can be graphed like a wave, okay? And different activities that the brain is doing require different frequencies of those pulses. Each frequency takes a different amount of energy. Dopamine helps with that activation. It's interesting because ironically, a lot of ADHD kids, the common line of thinking is that they have too much energy, But things like focus and concentration actually take the brain the most energy to get up to that activation point. So kids with ADHD, ironically enough, they're suffering from not enough energy, not too much. Weird, right? Focus, concentration, locking in. These actually take more energy and more dopamine than people who have ADHD have at their disposal. Not good at locking in, as it were. Especially if those things are deemed unfun or don't have any inherent dopamine to them. Like taxes, for example.
Listening to the Coconut Mall theme song.
This one was very popular. It had 10,000 likes, and people swear by it, apparently because the BPM is similar to what your heart rate needs to be at to concentrate. Again, I'm not a doctor. I just am the daughter of one.
Acetylcholine as well. Also a lot of fat rather than meat. Dopamine is one of the happy chemicals. That's your father blowing his nose.
Classic.
This one was great. I got a mean load of laundry done using this method. A tier.
So from what I can tell, each of these hacks is trying to get the brain to click into hyperfocus mode. Remember how I said that typically ADHD brains don't have enough dopamine? Sometimes they have way too much dopamine. And this, my friends, is called hyperfocus. So when things are deemed unfun, there's a thing that people with ADHD experience, which is called executive dysfunction, i.e., I know I should be doing this thing, but I do not want to. I cannot physically make my body do it because the activation energy is so high and the dopamine reward is so low. On the opposite end of the spectrum from executive dysfunction is hyperfocus. What's hyperfocus mode? I'm so glad you asked. Hyperfocus is when the only thing you want to do / think about / enjoy is one thing. There is an insane amount of dopamine to the point that nothing else is giving it dopamine. You are only thinking about this one thing, which is great, but will also mean that you look up and realize that you've gone 3 full days without eating and you've reorganized your entire closet. It looks great though. The organization in your sock drawer, immaculate. I may speak from experience. So, what do? We have to find different sources for that dopamine. But here's the thing, there are many sources of dopamine. Yes, little treats and rewards, but also things like anger or spite. Next, spite. Getting a person who doesn't believe in me.
Hello?
Hey, can you just tell me that I'm not going to do my taxes? That you don't think I can do it?
Yeah, you can't do it. File an extension.
Well, okay, well, no, I already did, but I need you to tell me that you don't think I can do it because I'm bad at it.
Yeah, you should get a pro.
No, I need you to, neg me a little bit.
You suck at taxes. You can't do it.
That's so rude.
You suck at taxes and you suck as a person.
Rude! Not the personal attack. Okay, alright, bye. Okay, well, some of those might work. Alright, let's get into my personal favorites of unhinged ADHD tips that I employ regularly. 1, the ADHD brain does really well with structure or novelty. I have started stacking my habits, so whenever I leave for work, I keep my gym bag in my car so that I can go directly to the gym. That structure of doing this every single time is super helpful for me because it gets into just a habit. Novelty. My friend Kristen has a really great video about doing whatever task it is in the tub. Doing something special to make it unusual is great. Bake in your own dopamine. If you're gonna put together a bullet journal or a planner, I recommend going and getting the prettiest markers you can and things that you are gonna wanna look at. Employ the dopamine that the shops use and marketing uses to your own advantage. What brings you dopamine? For me, it's color coding things. So, number 3, don't tell people your goals. This one is probably my most controversial one, but telling people what you plan on doing pre-releases the dopamine, so you're less likely to do it. So if you have a goal, don't tell people about it yet. That's why we leave a wake of unfinished hobbies, is because we tell people what we want to do instead of actually doing it. Be wary of this one though. I've gotten into a couple of relationship fights with people who want to know what I'm doing. Sorry. Number 4, take your medications. A lot of ADHD medications are stimulants because, like I said before, people with ADHD need more energy. There's a lot of people who have ADHD but don't realize it because they self-medicate with things like caffeine. I love my meds. I've been on them for years. I know exactly how they're going to affect my body. But I've also learned new things in the past couple of years.
For example, vitamin C. A lot of stimulants work by kick-starting your body's adrenaline response.
Vitamin C absorbs adrenaline, which is great if you have anxiety, for example. Do a little bit of lemon juice, maybe a little Sour Patch Kid, but it's not great for people with ADHD. For an hour before or after you take your medications, it can counteract the effect you're trying to have with your meds. And there's a lot of hidden vitamin C and things, stuff like Pop-Tarts. Be careful with that. Also, personally, I like to take a drug holiday every week or so. It's just like a day that I don't take my meds in order to maintain their efficacy. There's some studies that support that. Also, protein-heavy breakfasts in order to help the absorption and you need it. There's dopamine and protein. Eat it. What else? But also, pills don't teach skills, okay? Structure in deciding that you need help with this is good. Another one, body doubling. Oh my god, get a friend. I cannot tell you how helpful it is to start a task by just going down and sitting next to somebody else on a laptop. If they're working, you're working. Reflective neurons. Man, I remembered a lot more of that neuroscience class than I thought. Next one, trick your brain into thinking that you're doing it for something else. Like doing your taxes as a bit for a YouTube video, for example. If anyone is wondering, I would not suggest performatively doing your taxes. It is tiring. And there's a light in my face. I don't like it. And a merry tax season to all, and to all a good night. And if you'd like to make my 2025 tax return even more confusing, may I recommend you sign up for my Patreon. That's right, we're launching it, baby! Please consider subscribing to my Patreon. You can join for as low as $1 a month. I really enjoy making these videos, but I'd like to do so sustainably. I would love to get to a point where I could support myself off of it. Help.
For those of you who don't know what Patreon is, i.e. the ladies in my mom's neighborhood group chat, Patreon is a platform where you can support your favorite creators with a small monthly subscription, kind of like buying them a cup of coffee every month, so that they can keep making stuff you enjoy. You know, instead of selling feet pics. That monthly subscription will get you access to things like extended cuts of videos, bloopers, extra bonus content, and all sorts of different things. All that and more will be over there if you just can't get enough of my shenanigans.
And then I could have an even more confusing tax return next year. It's a win-win. I could do more ADHD tips we've learned, we've progressed. Everybody don't forget to like and subscribe. I love my eyeball.
Bye.
Okay, I have a confession to make. I didn't actually do my taxes that entire time. I was faking it, but I just actually did it, and I can't tell if it's my brain or my lifestyle. I've been at this for hours because I needed 1 piece of paper, and it was just not in the right bucket. Oh, I hate it here, I hate it here, I hate it here. I'm not even done. That was only 1. I didn't do my taxes last year. I was too busy getting my heart broken. God, I hope I don't get audited. Hey, I lied again. I actually didn't finish my taxes earlier. I just did them. And it still didn't work because I was hitting dead end after dead end because some of my employers didn't have the right info. I hate this. It is designed specifically to screw over me. My brain has stopped working. I have been at this for some reason for 8 hours. No crap. I didn't want to do it for weeks. Jiminy Christmas. Jiminy Christmas. Thank God for ChatGPT. And it literally just told me that I didn't make over the income level to even need to file. And that since I didn't owe anything, it did not matter.